Hello and welcome to this edition of Pause for 3 Minutes with me, Obobia Darko Opoku. Thank you for your likes and following my social media handle at Pause for 3 on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. If you are not following us yet, please do get inspired and you will not be disappointed. Let's talk today about disappointments and managing our disappointments. Do you expect a lot from people? I'm asking because the nature or the size of our expectations determine the size of our disappointments. Are you one of those living with bitterness because someone made a promise he was unable to fulfill? And you have since not forgiven him or her? I have personal experiences, and I agree that in some of the situations, you end up very hurt and sad. But you have to loosen up, my brothers and sisters. Disappointments aren't over in your life, and you'll surely experience some more. And you cannot continue to live with anger and bitterness because someone disappointed you. There are times, and I mean countless times, that people will give you 100% assurance and disappoint you 100%. I'm talking about assurances that are so definite, you walk away or get off the phone very confident and looking forward with high hopes, and nothing close to what was discussed, agreed or promised happens. Oh yes. I know you know what I'm talking about. We have all experienced that before. In a recent case, I needed to solve a major challenge and approached a very good friend of mine. We talked about the problem, what I needed to do, my timelines and why I must get the issue sorted out within a certain period, and wondered if she could be of help. My friend agreed to help. We initiated the processes right there in her house. She appreciated as a fellow woman why I needed help badly. I left fulfilled and thank God for blessing me with such a good friend. Here comes the day. Until 7 p.m. I could not find my friend. First, she was not picking her calls, messages not responded to, and the phone was later off. At about 7 p.m., one of her daughters picked up and said, "Mommy has guests," and asked that she tells me she will return my call later. No call came, and I cannot describe the pressure, embarrassment, and the incessant calls from the other side. Naturally, I was bitter, angry, and disappointed. I asked myself many questions. I thought through my supposed friendship with my friend. Why didn't she just say, "I won't help you"? She could have told me at 9 a.m. her difficulties, so I rushed and looked for help elsewhere. And why didn't she call back? A few days later, I thought over the whole development and decided to put myself in her shoes. I've also made promises to people. I meant well, and when I offered to assist or made the promise, I really wanted to fulfill those promises. But due to some circumstances, I could not. I failed to honor my word. Should they be bitter with me and vow not to see or have anything doing with me again? Yes, do not disappoint people when you cannot do what you had assured someone you will do. Make immediate contact and explain yourself and the difficulty on your side. It helps and will help the person find new solutions. And if you are disappointed, don't get bitter. Think about the effects of your bitterness and ask yourself, what if it were me? Above all else, let's be measured in our expectations. If your expectations are low, your disappointments will be minimal. Thank you, and continue to get inspired with Pause for 3.
Good morning, and that was Obobia Darko, and you must always be inspired. I understand that pain is a necessary raw material towards gain, and all you have to do is to process that raw material, process that gain. And if you're able to do it, you succeed by getting that produce, which will determine your success. That's how I want to welcome you this morning to Morning Update. And sorry for the earlier start, which had some technical issues to be solved. You couldn't hear me. We are back and live on Wazor TV, on Facebook and YouTube. I'm not here alone. I always do this with my partner.
Nana Abena Sewa. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How's everything?
I would say everything is fine.
Very fine.
I'm
happy you are
fine.
smiling.
Oh, but I've been smiling
yes,
always.
I am happy you are smiling.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with what I've said.
I'm happy I'm smiling
yes,
too.
And let's be happy we are all alive.
Yes.
And the message we always share with you every morning is that COVID is real. Take charge of your own life and your family. They need you, and you don't have to take unnecessary risks that will put you in trouble. We are told that Ebola is around the corner, and the Ghana Medical Association is assuring us that there is no cause to panic. They have told us that they are very sure that the structures that were put in place in 2015 are still intact.
Okay.
The medical personnel who were trained to act as frontline staff are also available. The experiences they had by sharing them during that period will still be available for the Ghana Health Service to tap into, and that is very assuring.
It is, but we just hope it's not lip service, just as we have been receiving, constantly. Every time we hear this, and then when the situations are on the ground, we see different actions happening. So we just hope it's not lip service.
We believe so.
Take it in
Yesterday,
good faith.
We wanted to find out from them if they have constant engagement with the Ghana Health Service, and they answered in the positive. The reason why we asked this question was that you remember when the drone controversy arose, Ghana Medical Association at a point was suggesting that they were not consulted in some of those decisions, but those controversies have been addressed since. So I believe that Ghana Medical Association will continue to work closely. This morning I'm reading from one of the newspapers, which I will share later, that we don't have a lot of health facilities.
True.
And the Ghana Medical Association is blaming the upsurge of COVID-19 cases, especially the deaths that we are recording, on the unavailability of some of these specialized health facilities to treat patients, which means that it's a subtle way of warning us that, look, we don't have the facility to accommodate patients in critical condition. You remember you also spoke to a certain medical doctor recently, and he shared an experience where he moved a patient from one of the private health facilities to a public health facility because he had been assured that there was an empty bed, but by the time he got there that bed had been filled.
Exactly.
I don't know what happened to that patient, but these are realities on the ground. So take good care of yourself.
No, I mean, so talking of realities, there are lots of hospital buildings that have been abandoned. Some have been started, others have not been started. And I think the one in Kumasi apparently is supposed to be a 760-bed facility. So why have all these buildings been left ajar?
So those are the
we will
questions
talk about that today.
People
Yes.
will continue to ask. Remember when the health minister designate appeared before Parliament, one of the issues the MPs focused on was the concern about projects that are still following in the bush.
Exactly.
And he gave the assurance that, look, government is on course. They have identified all such projects, and contractors will be back to ensure that they complete them.
After what I saw and what he said, I'm a bit skeptical about anything the health minister says.
Let's pray. They are working for Ghana, and I believe they also love Ghana, and so let's hope that they will solve our problems.
Well, we hope so. But if you just tuned in, this is the morning update on TVXYZ, proudly brought to you by X Natural Mineral Water and, of course, Health Alert Clinic. We'll take a quick turn and we'll be right back.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome back to the newspaper headlines segment of Morning Update on TVXYZ. And this program is also available for you to catch on Wizard TV on Facebook and YouTube. This segment obviously is sponsored by X Natural Mineral Water. Take water, especially very early in the morning. First thing when you wake up, take warm water. Make sure you are energized, you stay healthy, and then we all move on to do what we are interested in. Now, let's look at the Ghanaian Times on the front page. The stories here are quite exciting. The big one has to do with Ebola. It says, health alert, Ebola virus scare. Ghana Health Service places health facilities on high alert. And then strengthen psychological counseling for security services. Clinical psychologist is advising. COVID-19 update, death toll shoots up to 561 and Ghana loses $19.8 million through fraudulent activities. I want to share with you how the stories appeared on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The back page has to do with issues involving residents angry over the sighting of a fuel station. And this headline is making reference to an incident at Kotobabi here in Accra, in the Ayawaso Central Municipality. And these residents fear that in case of any explosion, residents within that enclave could be in danger. We understand that the EPA is acting on this particular issue. So the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper has it. Now I want to refer to the center spread of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. I made mention of Ghana Medical Association attributing COVID-19 spikes to limited health facilities. Now I'll read a few paragraphs. It says the Ghana Medical Association has attributed a spike in COVID-19 deaths in the country to limited access to health facilities. The association also lamented in the inadequate number of medical personnel handling critical to severe COVID-19 cases and said it was contributing to the rising deaths. Now, there are some statistics here. It says data on the Ghana Health Service website. Data on the Ghana Health Service website shows that a total... I don't understand. Okay, so we'll be taking a break. When we come back, we'll do the headlines again.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to so many or Accra.
Sure.
Check, auto checks, check, auto checks, check.
Emission, check.
Check, auto checks.
Alignment, check.
Auto checks, check, auto checks.
Brakes, check. Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much.
Auto checks.
Auto checks, check.
AutoChecks, your safety, our priority.
Check, auto checks.
Welcome back. This is the morning update on TVXYZ. I'm sure you'll be wondering what is really happening. Why is it that Eric is making the presentation and all of a sudden he has to call for a break? We have to sort one or two things out. My colleague Abna is not feeling very well. I can't share what is wrong with her, but it is not anything very, very alarming, but we have to excuse her to leave the set, and so I didn't get the directives very well. Sorry if I put you on some edge, but everything is under control, and I'm back with the newspaper headlines. I was making reference to the Ghana Medical Association's concern about the inadequacy of health facilities across the country, and because of these, the COVID-19 deaths are on the rise. I was making reference to some data, and the data the Ghana Health Service website shows that a total of 85 COVID-19 deaths have been recorded in 1 week from Monday, February 8 to Monday, February 15. 85 people have died. The data shows that presently 86 patients are in severe condition and 29 in critical condition. Now, Dr. Justice Jansen, who is the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, says to manage the pandemic effectively, the government needs to deploy adequate human resource and enough logistics across the country to handle the high, severe to critical cases of COVID-19. Now, the center spread also has some information on Ebola. Health alert. Ebola virus care. Ghana Health Service places health facilities on high alert. That's how it was captured. I'll share how they appeared on the center spread with you shortly. And then death toll shoots up to 561 active cases now. So the center spread of the Ghanaian Times newspaper has been devoted to Ebola and COVID-19. It only helps to boost the public education we are embarking on. Now let me do the Business and Financial Times. The front page talks about tax, and it comes with a picture of Samuel Maji, who is the executive secretary of one of the businesses here. Now, the story about tax is captured this way. Domestic tax revenue hits 31 billion cedis in first 10 months of pandemic here. The details on page 3 of the paper. U.S. businesses renew investment interest despite COVID-19, and court orders GCNet to pay workers as determined by the National Labour Commission, and the company makes rest of workers redundant. So that's the front page of the Business and Financial Times. The back page continues with the stories on the front page, and one has to do with Access Bank joining TAGG to support traders to keep safe in COVID-19 fight. So there it is, the Business and Financial Times. Let me do the Chronicle. There are a few more papers. The Chronicle newspaper has the picture of Jerry John Rawlings the late, and it comes with 2 members of the NDC who have been suspended, Alote Jacobs and Koku Anyidoho. And this story captures this banner headline: Rawlings' legacy in flames as Alote Jacobs vows to vomit snakes and frogs. Koku also dares leadership to punish him out. So look at it, front page, the Chronicle newspaper. Now, the other story here has to do with the Employment Minister. Yesterday, when he appeared before the Appointments Committee, I think one issue that attracted public interest was job creation. This comes up every now and then when MPs or appointees have to speak to Parliament on issues about job creation, job losses, especially under COVID-19. And here it says, I insist we have created 3 million jobs. Bafwa Ewa. So you can look at it here on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper, which also comes with a picture of the minister designate. Daily Dispatch. Battle for NPP's General Secretary post. Mustafa Hamid and Opare Ansah to face John Boadu. 2020 parliamentary results, the compilation of all the results is also captured, and I'm sure if you get the paper, you can analyze how they appeared compared to previous elections. NPP will not allow Alan and Baumia flag bearer jostling to affect government. Ghana Health Service issues Ebola alert. So the Daily Dispatch newspaper has it well captured. The back page has the continuation of the stories on the front page. Now let's look at the biggest selling newspaper, Daily Graphic. Extend compulsory retirement age. Minister designate makes case for sustained pension scheme. Ghana donates election materials to Niger, and then military will be phased out from police operations. Ambrose Derry is assuring, and Supreme Court hears 3 issues today. One is stay of execution of proceedings. One is about the review of the ruling recently, and the other one is about the closing arguments that have been filed as of yesterday. And so today nobody knows which one the Supreme Court will deal with first. I remember the Chief Justice was telling Chachichu Katata, you file those 2 applications and then let the court determine, and then we'll see how it will be heard. So these are on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. I want to move to the center spread. Now this one says UK pledges support to Ghana over COVID-19 impact. Overhaul legal education system, Montcrest Rector. And police would deploy resources to combat crime. That's what the IGP is saying. Yesterday, he was in the Upper East region. We understand that he's visiting the other 4 regions in the north. He's trying to assess the situation on the ground because of the increase in highway robberies. And he's assuring the people that the police is not going to leave them to chance. They will hound them and smoke them out of the area. So these are captured on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. I'm surprised that the papers, especially the national newspapers, are not capturing one sensitive issue that is trending, that is making a lot of Ghanaians angry. It is about LGBTQ. We know the laws of this country frown on it. We also know that government has made an attempt to assure the public that it is not interested, because you remember it's bound to happen a video conversation with Al Jazeera when the president was taking on that. His comment suggested that one day it will be with us. Is it with us now, especially when the EU and other diplomatic missions in Ghana are openly sharing information that they supported the opening of an office here in Ghana? That is quite interesting, because the diplomatic community must respect the laws of this country. And if they know that the nation has publicly spoken strongly against it, pastors, the civil society organizations, ordinary Ghanaians, traditional authorities who especially spoke out vehemently against what they suspected was a subtle attempt to smuggle this orientation into the comprehensive sexuality education program for schools, which obviously was suspended. Why would they do this? And of course, because of how public is reacting, one would have thought that the national newspapers will show interest in this so that we make it a national conversation for us to give direction. We'll be discussing this with those who have vowed that it will happen over their dead body later on this program. We'll also be engaging our panelists to discuss a lot of controversial issues popping up in the newspapers as headlines. We'll be taking a break. When we come back, Wisdom Hedejome will join me to present you the news.
Peace of mind is very essential in your journey to success. For Akwesi Papa, peace of mind means having a proper covering over his family. Literally. For Araba, aka Injection Mama, it's about having the funds to complete her advanced nursing course. And as for Corporal Odami, it's as simple as reporting on time for his shifts. Sometimes all you need is a simple push. At Needs Microfinance, we have tailor-made loan packages for salaried workers under the Controller General's Department. With the low interest rate and quick wahala-free process, you are guaranteed of a timely solution to get back that peace of mind, literally in 30 minutes. Needs Microfinance. Growing with you.
Welcome back. This is Morning Update on TVXYZ. You see me smiling. I was teasing my colleague Abuna. She's hanging around. She's very well. I will tell you later at the end of the program why she has to ask for permission to stay out. But Wisdom, somebody told me.
I mentioned your middle name.
Yes, my middle name is Koku. In fact, the other name is Maufamo.
Maufamo.
Yes.
Okay.
Maufamo. I say I don't know how to say it in
Nyamiakwany. God's way.
Yes, God's way. Yes, God's way. God's way. So I reflect God, and I'll try to do that all the time. Now, Wisdom, Hedejoma.
Rugby.
How? What is the meaning of Hedejoma?
So basically, knife in fire. A Hedejoma. Meaning that if there's any dispute, you can't put knife
the
in
way
fire
he talks,
to settle it.
A Hedejoma.
Yeah, so you have to sit down and settle it man to man.
You sound, you know, sometimes when people come from, let's say, Upper East, Upper West, when they speak, you can tell that, yeah, this is where they come from. When they come from Ashanti region, I hear. And when you speak, I also feel that, yes, this is somebody from the Volta region.
What
is in the news?
Well, so you started or you ended off with some anger that we were venting regarding...
I was not angry. I was just sharing my opinion.
Okay. Let me say that. So that issue is there in the news. I'll be telling you. The public is very angry that they cannot understand why government is silent on that issue. So I'll be telling you about that. And then the Kumewu Polyclinic, they've suspended surgeries and other emergencies. But the sad news is that the 120 million bed facility, it's also
20 bed facility.
It's left abandoned.
I think the cost is actually 170 million, but the bed capacity is 120. I heard you say 120 million bed capacity. And then so that facility is left abandoned. Right. The Ghana Medical Association is also allaying fears after the Ebola alert. I'll be telling you about that. And then the IGP is, as you mentioned, on a working visit to the 4 regions of the north to assess the situations on the ground as he seeks to face armed robbery situations in the country. Okay, so let's do the news now.
As always, many thanks for your company, for joining us this morning for the details and the public statement by the European Union confirming it participated in the establishment of the Office of Lesbians and Gay when they know clearly that the country's law frowns on that, has stoked public anger. Now the critics are turning their anger on government for the silence, demanding an official statement.
Last year, there was a heated public debate over what critics described as government's attempt to sneak the promotion of gay and lesbian rights into the syllabus for schools under the guise of comprehensive sexuality education. Pressure from religious leaders, CSOs, and the public compelled authorities to shelve it. But the promoters are back and have opened an office in Accra. Though Executive Secretary of the National Coalition for Proper Human Rights and Family Values, Moses Fo Amwoni, has called on government to shut down that office, there has not been any official response. Now, the European Union seems to be taking advantage of the silence or possible subtle endorsement of the practice. In a Facebook post, the EU confirmed its participation in the opening of the new office space for a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer intersex LGBTQI rights group in Accra, reiterating its support for similar organizations. According to the post, in attendance at the fundraiser were some invited guests, including the Australian High Commissioner, His Excellency Gregory Andrews, the Danish Ambassador to Ghana, Tom Noring, and some delegates from the EU. This comes after the group organized a fundraiser on the 31st of last month, attended by several diplomats, including the Australian High Commissioner, who pledged to support the group. A section of the public TVXYZ News spoke to did not hide their disappointment.
I don't see it to be necessary because my religion doesn't back that. And moreover, our predecessors, the presidents that came before, Mahama, Atamos, them were they didn't second. So I don't see it too necessary.
Actually, I feel very pity. I feel I'm sorry I'm a Ghanaian. See, I think in somewhere in East Africa, there have been chills in the country. Or if I'm wrong, they kill them. But I'm not saying that they should kill them. But the government should stand in and stop them once and for all. Because I think they are Ashoma or so and Baliga. It's not right.
It's not about what Ghanaians will start doing. I know Ghanaians have rejected this totally. Years back, they tried coming in, and it didn't work. So I know that left with us as Ghanaians, it's not something we would accept. But maybe for political expediency, you will not find the ruling party coming out to say things that are against the West.
Executive Secretary of the National Coalition for Proper Human Rights and Family Values, Moses Fo Amwoni, has called on the Presidency, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the IGP to investigate that office, close it down, immediately arrest and prosecute suspects.
Let's do some health-related stories now. And rainstorm has destroyed part of the Kumewu Polyclinic in the Ashanti region, compelling authorities to suspend surgeries and other emergencies. Now, the development has revealed agitation for the completion of the 120-bed hospital project abandoned since 2017. There is more in this following report.
This is the state of the Kumewu Polyclinic in the Ashanti region after the rainstorm. The entire roof of some of the buildings have been ripped off, with some sensitive medical equipment like computers and other documents damaged. TVXYZ News has learned the situation has compelled management to suspend most services, including surgeries. Male patients, for example, on admission, have now been relocated to empty beds in the female and children's wards amidst concerns about overcrowding and the possible spread of coronavirus. The current situation has resulted in congestion, and the corridor is now serving as a waiting area for OPD patients and those waiting to see doctors. The development has revived complaints about the abandoned Kumewu Government Hospital project started by the former president, John Dramani Mahama. This is the state of the 120-bed capacity Sechere Kumewu Hospital facility, now left overgrown with weeds. The $170 million project, when completed, will contain a theater, recovery unit, medical, surgical, and emergency wards. A year ago, the chief of Kumewu, Berima Twenebu Akodia, bemoaned the delay in completion of the project despite numerous appeals. Ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kobina Minta Akondo, who also visited the site during the heat of the campaign, spoke passionately about the neglect.
It is quite disheartening. I have never seen this situation before. At least, just because somebody will take the credit. I mean, that is, if you will exhibit maturity when you continue and even hold your brother's hand to come and commission, that is where Ghanaians will hail you that you are matured. Have you forgotten what Professor Mills did at the N1? When he came to power and completed N1, he held the hand of President Kufuor. Let's go and commission it. That is an exhibition of maturity. What are they doing to us? You and I, the young ones. Give yourself 20 years. Those people who are doing this wickedness to us, they will not be alive. But it is two of us who will come and pay for this facility. Let's get serious for once.
But not much has changed since. Health Minister Designate Kweku Agyeman-Manu has, however, assured the Appointment Committee of Parliament during his recent vetting that all such projects will receive priority if he is confirmed.
And still on health, the Ghana Medical Association says its officers trained during the Ebola outbreak in 2015 are on standby and there is no cause for alarm. Deputy General Secretary Dr. Titus Bayo tells TVXYZ News its members are on high alert.
According to the Ghana Medical Association, GMA, all structures put in place in readiness to combat the spread of the deadly disease during the outbreak within the sub-region in 2015 are still intact. Doctors and health professionals who also went through training as frontline staff are also available for deployment in case of any outbreak. The assurance follows fierce after an alert was issued by the Ghana Health Service ordering all teaching hospitals, regional and district directors to take extra precautionary measures after Guinea confirmed positive cases. The directive by GHS Director General Dr. Patrick Kumar Boaji said all regional and district public health emergency management committees must include EVD on their agenda. Deputy General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Titus Bayo, tells TVXYZ News the Ebola management structures instituted in 2015 has put the GMA in a better position for any outbreak.
The first time there was a Passover where Ebola passed us by, let me say. Someone transited through Ghana to Nigeria and there was an outbreak in Nigeria, but there was none here. And we were happy. But we put in a lot of measures. Some of those measures actually were helpful to us in this current pandemic. Some of the PPEs we got then that were not used were the first thing we had to rely on to make this current response. I would say that this pandemic has taught us a lot of lessons and perhaps it's putting us in a place to be better prepared for similar epidemics or pandemics, as the case might be, of infectious nature.
Dr. Bayo said GMA is collaborating with the Ghana Health Service and shall remain committed to protect the interests of all Ghanaians.
In the time of a crisis like this, the Medical Association has a standing committee on infectious diseases that studies whatever is happening and then tries to advise doctors and the public and government as well on how to handle this. So I think the collaboration has been great, and going forward it's going to even be better, because these pandemics have taught us that we need all hands on deck. it's not a battle that one person can do. So I think the collaboration has been good and it will be good going forward.
Meanwhile, more COVID-19 casualties have been recorded. VDEF toll is now 561, with 702 new confirmed cases, bringing the total of number of active cases to 7,886. According to the Ghana Health Service, 128 lives have been lost to COVID-19 in the last 2 weeks of this month.
The working visit by the Inspector General of Police, James Opombuenu, is in response to the public outcry about the emboldened activities of highway robbers. The IGP, according to his aides, will also tour 4 other regions. He will, among other things, discuss strategies to prevent or apprehend suspects who often take advantage of easy escape routes through the shrubs along the highways. Accompanied by operational and some service commanders, the IGP spent yesterday gathering first-hand information at some of the crime scenes in the Upper East region, where he was also briefed about the modus operandi of the criminals.
Look at the strategy that the regional command is using to respond to the recent robbery that have occurred. I've been to 2 other locations where we have had recent robberies. And I'm going to sit down with them. I didn't come alone. I came with the Director General of Operations and his deputy, as well as some other senior officers from the police headquarters. We're going to sit down with them and re-strategize and see what measures to put in place to ensure that these do not occur. Since my arrival, I've noticed that they have put some measures in place to stem the tide or to prevent the robberies and other crimes from occurring. I can assure the general public that we're doing whatever we can and we'll go to whatever length to ensure that the public is pretty safe.
His visit follows the deployment of special anti-robbery teams to the region to support local police to combat highway robberies. Few days ago, tomato haulage drivers suspended their service in protest. They have since been provided with police escorts, but the Tomato Sellers and Transporters Association says that is inadequate. They explain that the changeover from one region to the other and the subsequent delays affect their business because tomatoes is a perishable produce.
And that was a story having to do with the IGP touring the 4 regions of the north to assess security situations there as it seeks to crash on armed robbery cases in that part of the country. Let's do some education stories now. And the placement list for BEC students seeking admission into senior high schools will be officially out this Sunday. According to the Ghana Education Service, there is no anticipation of chaos like it happened last year.
Data indicates that about 525,000 qualified BECE graduates shall be offered admissions into various second cycle institutions this year. According to the Ghana Education Service, 721 senior high, technical and vocational schools have declared close to 535,000 vacancies. The GES assures parents, unlike last year's exercise, which was characterized with confusions and chaos, this year's process will be smooth. Director General of the GES, Professor Opoku Amankwa, who has been addressing public expectations, said one major challenge often associated with the second placement is the oversubscription for well-endowed schools. He, however, says only about 100 schools out of the 721 were usually oversubscribed. The GES Director General has debunked assertions about the late release of the list. He explains that, like previous year, the placement has been timed at least 3 weeks before school reopens for the first year SHS students in March. On self-placement, the GES says the process will be flexible this year for parents who wish to change schools selected for their children without any hindrance to avoid the chaos experienced last year. It talks about enough vacancy and there is no need to panic. On December 16 last year, when WAEC released the results, 977 candidates had their subject results withheld, pending the outcome of investigations.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has directed former Deputy Finance Minister Charles Edubwahin to take charge of the Ministry of Finance in the absence of Ken Ofori-Atta, who is receiving treatment after post-COVID-19 complications in faraway U.S. A letter from the Chief of Staff, Mrs. Frema Osei-Opare, said, pending the absence of the President's representative at the Ministry of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, I am directed by His Excellency the President to request that you, Charles Edubwahin, act as his representative at the ministry. It continued, says, you are to take note of the provisions of Section 14.5, which states that you shall not take a decision involving a policy issue. Mr. Edubwahin, an investment banker, was one of the deputies to Ken Ofori-Atta from 2017 to January 6, 2021, with specific focus on banking and finance. And before we go, lawyers for all parties in the ongoing election petition case have up to close of day to file their closing argument. The Supreme Court is expected to resume hearing on the case later today. It is, however, not clear if the application for review and the stay of execution filed by Chachuchi Kata and two days ago will dominate proceedings before the main issue is heard this morning. And that's it for this morning's news in brief on the morning update. My name is Wisdom Hedejime. As always, do log on to my xyzonline.com for more. Eric, Koku,
So what did you take away from your own news?
So what I'm taking away is still having to do with the LGBTQI issue. It's very disturbing, especially where previous presidents have boldly and openly said that this is wrong, our laws frown on it, we should not accept it, and then clandestinely we find it, now becoming a part, if you want to put it. And so for me, that is what I'm taking away.
Would you suggest that there should be a national discourse that will bring to finality our official position on this and communicate this to the world?
Eric, if you're asking of national cohesion or whatever you want to put it, we have a constitution which is the right of the people, and the constitution is explicitly clear.
Okay, so let's leave it there. So that's the news. Wisdom wants to vent out his frustration. We'll be back after the break to do some engagement on the Kumawu Hospital. I'm talking about the polyclinic which has been devastated by rainstorm. I will be speaking to somebody who has been following this.
Ifo kra na menyisika edia ye mefui.
Ehin fa na menya bosia edia tre medjuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre miye bosia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yemamwa kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekoko abosia, susu account, and it also wɔ hɔ savings account, me bada chain savings account, and the akeka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 034229186. Na won so wetumi aka sɛ
Suhum Rural Bank ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Kofi na sen haba matumi sayade bia enanka metina homa me yade yakumie.
Oh, na den Health Alert Clinic de yedin haba ma any organic product nko a na sayade.
Be ma ne oba a wo ho ayamodene. Wonko Health Alert Clinic.
Health Alert Clinic de say ye be ma wintimi mu adwuma yi. Menstrual disorder, hypertension, na say enam yade STDs. Wo wadu som yade bia ye betene te e de amount. Wo sanso ye massaging, any physiotherapy. Omo wo diagnostic machines. Di hwehwe de pediem. Sanso na ultrasound.
Health Alert Organic Shop nso honum a organic products nko a na wo moton honum. Hwehwe ye kira kwan e wo Madina Post Office. Ye wo First Atlantic Bank no echi honum a e wo Enkran.
Freyen e wo 0242518893 and 0242518865. Health Alert Clinic. Go Heba.
Welcome back. This is the discussion segment on Morning Update, which is always presented to you by Abena. Abena has stomach upset. I'm sure I've kept you in suspense. She has stomach upset, and she cannot stay on the seat for a longer time because she can be running in and out. We call it stomach running. I want to tease her. She comes around to look at me, and then occasionally she will move out. But everything is okay. I'm happy to take her seat. And this morning, we are looking at one issue that should be of interest to everybody. It's about government projects. Over the years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, there has been concern about the continuity agenda that we have always thought the Constitution backs, which should be the norm of the day. But we know that when governments change, the policy direction is not directed towards finishing projects that we have used the taxpayers' money to pay for. We go for huge loans, we start these projects and we abandon them. So under the Rawlings regime, there were issues of such. Under the Kufuor regime, several references were made. Under the Mills regime, there were the same concerns about projects that Kufuor had started, which were abandoned. Under the John Mahama regime, there were the same concerns. And under the Akufo-Addo regime, we are also hearing the same thing. Now the question is, when and how can we depart from this? This example is about the Kumewu Polyclinic. And what happened is very simple. There was an ongoing project, which would be a Kumewu government hospital, which has a 120-bed capacity. It was under construction. I remember very well last year when there was a lot of public debate about health facilities and what is available to contain COVID-19 patients, the issue about abandoned projects arose. I remember very well that today's health minister designate, who was then the health minister, answered a number of questions. He held a lot of Meet the Press series and assured the nation that they have identified many of these. Some were being some had been completed and handed over. Some projects were ongoing. But the argument was that what he said was not the truth. And so the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Mensah Akandor, had to take journalists to one of such sites, which was the Kumewu Government Hospital. What is actually bringing back this conversation is that there is a Kumewu Polyclinic, one old facility, which serves the people. And so if the new one had been completed, maybe health authorities would have been using it by now. But unfortunately, rainstorm has devastated part of the old facility. I'm sure the pictures will be showing on the screen as I run this commentary. And this old one has many of the structures destroyed. The male ward, for example, has been completely devastated. The roof has ripped off. And because of this, the health authorities have stopped surgeries and other major services. And you can see from the picture on the screen, or the ones that will follow, that some of these facilities have had equipment damaged, medical equipment damaged, document destroyed, and so on. And some of the patients have to line up on the corridor to see the doctor or to visit the OPD. What we want to do this morning is to go back to the conversation. I want us to watch what Kwabena Mensah Akandor said when he led journalists to the facility. He sounded very passionate. I am deliberately going to talk to him again to find his reaction. What happened after that visit? Was it for politics? As a member of parliament who is the ranking member on the health committee, has he done follow-ups? How did he react when the health minister designate appeared before the appointments committee and answered to questions about some of the abandoned projects? And so let's watch this old file, which was somewhere last year when Peter Mensah Akandor visited the Kumewu Government Hospital under construction. And we'll hear his concern, and when I bring him back, we'll speak to him about what is happening today. So let's watch that particular tape.
This one is criminal, very devastating. I think that somebody must answer questions. Very disheartening. I didn't know the seriousness of the issue all this while. Look at what is happening here. I mean, you and I will have to pay for the loan for this particular facility, and we are leaving it to rot away. I mean, to the extent that some of the buildings have even been completed, but there are waste all over. Some of the materials are getting bent. You have seen it for yourself. Some of the roofs, I mean, the storm, the wind has taken off the roof. What are we doing to Mother Ghana? And we are still listening to excuses? This is what the MPP government inherited. Not a single block has been added to it. You have a mandate of 4 years, and we are almost into 3 years, and you are still giving excuses for completing this particular infrastructure, and people are dying, and there's so much traffic in Komfo Anokye. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Let's put the politics aside. I mean, somebody must answer questions. And then quickly, because we want to do PR.
And so that was Kwabena Mintah Akando, and we all saw the facility. The fact is, it didn't start today, but I want to listen to Kwabena Mintah Akando to find out from him what he has done since that visit. Kwabena, good morning.
Eric, good morning.
I hope you are fine.
I'm fine, except that I'm very sad this morning.
Why are you sad?
You know, this morning I have taken my time to comb through the various media houses, and apart from your TV station, no TV station or radio station is discussing this very sensitive issue, and it saddens my heart. It saddens my heart. I heard you say that you're going to discuss abandoned project. I don't know what other projects you'll be discussing, but left to me alone, it is not about abandoned project. It is about the health of this country. Any serious country will prioritize the health sector of that particular country. And in Ghana, what we are doing is as though we are joking with governance. Eric, this tape that you just played it's more than 1 year. It's not 1 year ago. If you heard me say in the video that you are almost into your 3rd year, and they have completed their 4th year, so it means it is more than 1 year. Do you agree with me?
Kwabena.
Hello.
Yes, I heard you, and I answered in the positive, Kwabena.
Very well. And the genesis of this whole conversation was not about the COVID. The conversation came back, resurfaced when the COVID broke out. But when I was appointed as the ranking member on the committee, you know, we have a very huge deficit as far as health infrastructure is concerned. So I took my time to visit some abandoned health projects, and that took me to Kumawu. Kumawu, the project was about 60% complete, and other projects. Do you understand? And immediately I toured those facilities. The health minister came out to organize a press conference to tell me that I was chasing cheap political points, and that he has organized the contractor to go back to site, and that he thinks that I have even heard of that news. That is why I have quickly rushed to those sites just for cheap political propaganda or political points. This is where I get very, very, very sad. More than 1 year down the lane, that old structure that is serving as a polyclinic in Kumawu has completely been devastated. The roofs have been ripped off entirely. We shouldn't have gotten to this stage. We shouldn't at all, because these projects were supposed to be completed in the early days of 2017. Eric, I had the opportunity to listen to the minister during his vetting. I listened to him briefly. And such a person was appointed as the minister responsible for our health sector in this country. 4 years, he couldn't start and complete a single hospital to put to good use to serve the good people of this country. When he was asked, he said that they were continuing the projects that they inherited. And you and I today, we are discussing about a project that has been abandoned for almost 5 good years. 5 years.
Now, Kwabena,
we have waited until the one that is serving the people in Kumawu and its environs has been completely devastated, and nobody is coming to their rescue. This is about the health. We are in coronavirus pandemic. We are hearing of Ebola, and its associated issues or cases. And such a vast catchment area.
Okay, Kobna, let me ask a few questions. Since your last visit, what other steps have you taken as a committee? Because you are a ranking member and you play a key role to invite the minister or at least follow up on some of these projects, Kumawu to be specific.
Eric, number one, we are all accountable to the good people of this country. When we came back, they organized a press conference reacting to our trip. Well, I was not interested in the reactions and whatever. I was interested in the real job. The job must be done. I have always stated that anything I do not want to be vindicated, because in the health sector, as a ranking member, I'm keeping government and its tools. I'm criticizing government constructively. And so if I get vindicated, it is not good for the people of this country. And therefore, I want to be vindicated. And so I was expecting that at least the people will go to site and then complete the work. That didn't happen. Number two, we filed a question on the floor of the House, and the same answer that provided in the media was provided on the floor of the House. The same answers.
Which was?
We provided on the floor of the House. Eric, what else can I do?
So if
I can't not.
Okay,
cannot.
I understand you perfectly, but if as a ranking member serving on a committee which has oversight responsibility on the health ministry, and you are giving up from the commentary you are running, then we have a problem in this country, because this is the minister who has appeared before the committee. No, but you have. I am paying you as a taxpayer to get my concerns addressed, and you need to keep the fight on. So what would you do now?
No, I am not relenting on my efforts. I am not discouraged. We will continue to do our best, especially from the opposition. But mind you, Eric, I am not the holder of public purse. At the end of the day, the real job will be executed by the holders of the purse. After all, let's put this conversation in its right perspective. You need job done at Kumawu. It's about money, and it falls within the jurisdiction of another arm of government. I belong to one arm of government, and I am supposed to keep government on its toes. If I had not visited the site, if I had not spoken about that project, I would agree with you. You can take me on, and you pay me to do this work, to provide this oversight responsibility, and I'm sleeping on the job. I would have agreed with you. But Eric, upon all this, even after doing all these things, I came under serious attack by their party followers. But some of us are above intimidation and whatever they are doing.
But at that time, they also saw it that you were politicizing the issue and not about addressing the reality. Either maybe there's a non-availability of funds, because you remember at that time the ministry said they were auditing some of the projects, and that the return to site by the contractors would be dependent on their satisfactory report. There is satisfactory reports they may receive from those who are doing the auditing.
Robert, you may help me. What do you mean by politicizing the whole thing, and that therefore I don't understand? I am a ranking member. The project has been started. It's been abandoned. I've gone to the site for first-hand information. The media carried it, came to the floor of the House. We have discussed it. More than 1 year down the lane, the project is still as it is. In any case, why would I even have the time to listen to any incompetent minister giving me reasons why he has abandoned the project for more than 4 years? What kind of justification? Look, if you are a president or if you are a government, you will inherit challenges, and you are supposed to find solutions to those challenges and not to give me excuses. You are not supposed to give me excuses for 4 years.
Okay, so Kobna, before you go, Kobna, just maybe 30 seconds. We've taken much of your time. Before you go, would you summon the minister before Parliament to address this particular issue?
Number one, we are going to debate his responses before the appointment committee, some of which were completely, I divide those answers into three. Some were lies, others were inaccurate, and I think that he also deliberately tried to invade some of the questions. And so, number one, some of these things will come under the discussions when we're debating the appointment committee's report to the floor of the House. That's number one. Number two, we have not finished constituting the committees as far as the 8th Parliament is concerned. So, as I speak to you now, I cannot call myself the ranking member on the committee or the chairman on the committee. This time, the strength of Parliament. We're 137. So, anybody from either side could be ranking or could be a chairman of a particular committee. And therefore, the first thing is that the appointment committee's report will bring back the issues, so we'll debate it. Then the second issue, I can assure you, is that immediately after the committees are constituted, we will take the matter up seriously. Because, you see, that is why I want you to see the infrastructure as far as the health sector is concerned differently. Because this is about our health. Now, you and I, if we don't have health facilities in this country and we don't have the money to travel like Ken Ofori-Atta has traveled outside the country. As for me, since I was born, I have never sought any medical attention outside this country before. In the whole world, yes, I have traveled before, but I have never sought any medical. All my medical attention or treatment has been in Ghana. Because they have the type of money they have, they can afford to travel outside the country. Now, when I went round these health facilities, as if I knew there was going to be an outbreak of pandemic. Now, all our health facilities are overwhelmed. Even go to Accra, to the various facilities holding these people.
Yeah, Kobina, I can understand you. Unfortunately, we have to end the interview because the segment will not travel beyond 20 minutes. So
that's okay.
I want to thank you so much, but the story has not ended.
Thank you very, very
we'll
much. We'll
definitely do some follow-ups on this particular issue.
I'm most grateful, and I thank you for bringing such a very sensitive issue to the fore. Most grateful.
Okay, Kobina Mintah Kando was the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament. He has actually informed us that those other committees have not been formed. We know the Business Committee of Parliament and Appointments Committee of Parliament have been formed. The others are in waiting. We'll be taking a break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest. We'll do the newspaper review segment brought to you by Health Alert Clinic. Stay alive, stay healthy. Just follow them, and your ailments, whether it is diabetes or hypertensive related diseases and so on, whether it's joint aches, whatever, just call Health Alert Clinic and they will sort out your problem.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yes.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural, eggs, mineral, water.
Still got it.
Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
I'm sure some of you were dancing around, and we'll bring the music back after the show. Don't worry. We'll bring it back. I enjoyed that particular music. This morning, I'm doing the discussion with Alhaji Nuruddin Hamidan, former MC for Asokore Mampong. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
How has been the night?
Well, you know, the scare will not let us sleep.
Why? If you have not flouted the protocols, why would you?
You are thinking of Ebola, you are thinking of COVID, I mean, so many things. But we thank God for his blessings. Everything is going on well.
Okay, thank you. And Janet Asana Nabila is the PNC General Secretary. Madam, how are you?
I'm fine.
How is PNC?
Oh, we are doing well by God's grace. Trying to do postmortem on the elections, the 2020 elections.
Raise your voice a bit.
We are trying to do postmortem on the 2020 elections.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking at our negatives and positives, what led us to not performing well, so that we can build upon it and annex power from the NPP and NDC, so that the people of Ghana can be free from their tentacles.
But there's always the school of thought that PNC, like CPP, maybe PPP, the smaller political parties, as we have always been referring to, you go to sleep after major elections, and you only surface when we are getting close to another one. So are we going to see a different PNC from what we have seen in the past?
Yes, you will see a different PNC. It's not like we always want to go and sleep. There are a lot of reasons why at times people usually see us not being active during non-campaigning eras. It's as a result of finance, where NPP and NDC will go and they will finance them. When we go there, we will not
Isn't
get.
that your party is not attractive, or
It's
those
not,
leading the
it's
party
not a matter of being
are not influential enough?
No, it's not like that. When you're a businessman and you are going to invest in business, you are looking for profit. So they think that the NPP and the NDC have more power or have more influence to be able to be elected. So if they put their money there, they will be able to get what they want, as compared to PNC or CPP. And they are building.
There's always another perception that it is because you are fragmented and people hold their egos and you don't want to come together to form a strong party to serve as an alternative to NDC and MPP. People describe NDC and MPP as noise now because of what we have seen, and PNC should be taking that challenge.
It's true. It's true. As for the fragmentation, it's also part of it, but the resources is also another.
Okay,
and we cannot build two political party systems in this country because it's dangerous for our democracy.
How is my friend Bernard Mona?
Oh, Bernard is doing well. He was at Sankana. I don't know whether he has come back to Accra.
All right.
Maybe my sister and co will consider coming to join us so that
when
we get the power, we can share. We can share the appointments together.
NPP, NDC, we do those sort of things. We want to be none.
If you are having it difficult to generate resources, come and join us.
We want to be.
We can partner and then bring power and then share the appointments together.
Janet Asana Nabila is the PNC General Secretary, and then Alhaji Nuruddin Hamidan is a former MC for Asokore Mampong. They'll be doing the newspaper review with me. I want to acknowledge our sponsor, Health Alert Clinic. Health Alert Clinic is a herbal clinic that provides its services using herbal and organic products. As coronavirus rises, it's advisable to visit Health Alert Clinic for a thorough check, especially people with underlying health conditions such as chronic diabetes, chronic hypertension, stroke, numbness, waist and muscle pains with machine treatment, ulcer, prostate issues, menstrual problems, burning sensation in the foot and body, chronic body pains, waist and bone pains, typhoid, bad cholesterol, gonorrhea and syphilis, dizziness, white, and if you cannot sleep, they can also take care of that. Now, free hepatitis B screening and many more must be taken seriously. That's what Health Alert Clinic is advising. So they offer free hepatitis B screening. They undertake ultrasound scan, massage and physio with machine treatment, laboratory services. Now they work from Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they are located, in fact the location is very, very peculiar for those who seek some medical care. Medina Post Office behind the First Atlantic Bank, Accra. Their telephone numbers are on the screen, 024-251-8993, 024-251-8865. Health Alert Clinic. They are associated with our newspaper review segment on Morning Update, TVXYZ, and Wezo TV. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And don't forget that you can also send your text messages 0556-999-999, 0556-999-999. It's on the screen. You can always send us WhatsApp text messages. Please don't call. Send us those text messages and then we'll read them for you. There's another number you know already, 020-866-7000, 020-866-7000. Those who know that number already can also send your text messages. We'll be reading them. Business and Financial Times front page, the big story says domestic tax revenue hits 31 billion cedis in first 10 months of pandemic year. That's how the Business and Financial Times captured the story. Daily Dispatch, the biggest story says battle for MPP's General Secretary post. Mustafa Hamid and Opare Ansah to face John Boadu, and the pictures come with the banner headline. The Chronicle on its front page talks about NDC politics. Koku Anyidoho and Alote Jacobs are speaking. They are threatening the party. Anyidoho and Koku Anyidoho and Alote Jacobs, their message is if they dare to frustrate them, they will create problems for the NDC. The way it's captured on the front page of the Chronicle is quite very interesting. Rawlings' legacy in flames as Alote Jacobs vows to vomit snakes and frogs, and Koku also dares leadership of the party. So the Chronicle newspaper has it as you see there. Now let me do two more papers. These are the state newspapers. The Ghanaian Times on its front page is talking about Ebola. The virus scare should not worry us. That's what the Ghana Health Service is telling the public. So that's how it's captured. And then the Daily Graphic on its front page says extend compulsory retirement age. Minister designate makes case for sustained pension scheme. So there it is, front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Now, many issues on the table. I always show interest in the health ones first. Ebola and COVID. Authorities are telling us that, look, yes, let's be careful, but there's no cause to worry, especially Ebola. Ghana Medical Association says their structures are still in place, intact, and they are able to manage it in case we have any incident in the country. Let me start with you, Linda. The name is Linda, isn't it?
Janet.
Janet. Okay, Janet. Janet, first of all, this Ebola, this COVID issues, in Fanti, somebody will say, Yaka Yabre. Should we be tired talking about it?
I forgot to greet PNC members. Let me use this opportunity to greet them and all those who are watching. Talking about Ebola and coronavirus. First, when they were talking about the coronavirus, this pandemic, I never took it seriously because I never had anybody, and I didn't have any friend or any relative being faced with such a problem. So I was just wondering how come that these things are happening, but people that I know, I don't see them being affected, and those who are even affected, nothing happens to them. But something happened this week, and it scared me to the
marrow.
It scared me to the marrow. What happened was that I had a friend that we have been joking. So about 4 days ago, I was with him and we were just chatting. He looked energetic. Thank God, he was across the street, and he was telling me that the whole of this year he has not seen me. Why? So we were just chatting, and I entered into my vehicle and left. 2 days later, he had severe headache. Severe headache that emanated into stroke, and he died.
Died?
35 years. I'm still trying to I can
feel from your body language.
So it is not easy. It is not easy. It's true that we are supposed to observe these protocols that have been put in place to be able maybe to reduce our chances of getting it. It doesn't mean that when you put on a mask, you are using sanitizers and you are distancing yourself. It doesn't mean that you will not get it. What it means is that it will reduce your chances of getting that virus, but it will not prevent it from happening. Looking at the magnitude of people that are now having the disease in the country, I told someone that I can confess that about 80-something% of Ghanaians are carrying the disease. Now it is so rampant so that there's no listen. It's just that they get it and they said they are being treated, and then some people get it and they say it is not reactive. So because of that, we don't see the seriousness of
you are talking about the asymptomatic.
Yes, we don't see the seriousness of the disease. But there's another one that have come. The one that they say can resolve in stroke. The one that they say is now giving serious diseases and sicknesses, and people are having high fevers and other things. The first one that came was not dangerous.
So you are talking about the new strain.
The new one is very dangerous, and if it gets you, how to get out of it becomes impossible. After you've been treated, still the symptoms, you can even relapse, like what happened to some of our leaders. It's dangerous. We don't even know what to do. And for all these things, we are hearing that Guinea, 11 people have been tested for Ebola. And Ghana, we have to be alert of what is happening. Now they are saying that if you go to the hospital and you are having some symptoms, they should, they are entreating hospitals. They are entreating hospitals to be looking out for Ebola victims in Ghana now. So the thing is becoming so overwhelming on our heads.
I can feel from your presentation that the death of your colleague who didn't appear sick 4 days ago,
yes,
or maybe before the 4th day when he passed,
yes,
and hearing that he actually developed COVID and then within a day or two he has touched you. I think it's a very good testimony to share on this platform for many of us monitoring the conversation at this time, because these are the real stories we need to tell to make people understand that the disease is real. Now, Alhaji, she has said a lot. It summarizes the concern we have. And many say, yes, we will continue to talk, but if people won't listen, how far or what else can you do? Should we begin to scare the public before they can understand that COVID is real, or we should continue as we are doing now?
Well, Senior, let me say good morning to all those who are listening to, especially His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and my own senior brother, Honorable Muntaka, and our minority caucus in Parliament. It is true, this COVID issue is real. Nobody should deceive him or herself to thinking that COVID is something elsewhere. It's here, it's with us. We've lost senior members of this country. Recently, Babu left us, and many more people have left us because of COVID. And so we should not leave it to government alone. This government has shown that it lacks capabilities to deal with this disaster. So what we have to do is to take individual precautions. Government will be doing its bit, but we should not leave everything to government. This COVID came, you remember, when the COVID came, all hands at that time were on deck. Remember, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came with the COVID team. Prosper Bani, former Minister for Health, Alex Egbefia, so many NDC guys who are good in health. They were all put together, provided resources, both financial resources, PPEs, human resources. We put all these at the disposal of government to use and make sure that we deal with the matter. And it helped at that time. I don't know why this time we are not using all those things.
But the concern here is it seems fatigue has set in, because how vibrant NDC appeared last year in the effort to fight COVID is not reflecting on the same way NDC is behaving towards it today.
Yeah, Senior, the issue is it's all about government. Government has to initiate.
No, but you said first of all hands on deck.
Yes.
So government will play a leading role. Yes. Now the concern is that if the others must also be seen to be putting in that effort, what are they doing now? Because and just for your information, just about a few days ago, the former Chief Justice who heads the COVID-19 fund raising committee lamented that, look, it looks like the commitment towards the support is dropping. They are no more getting contributions as it should be, and that equally is affecting what they are doing. That's why I asked the question, is fatigue setting in?
Senior, you see, when people contribute, it must be acknowledged. We had COVID fund that people were contributing. Corporate society were contributing. Individuals were contributing. Philanthropists were putting in money. Have you heard any accountability? Definitely people will relax. If I pay money, I don't get to hear about it. I don't get to hear what the money is used for. Obviously, I may be discouraged in putting more. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came with a team, they were working. Government was not encouraging them. Government was not engaging them. What government is doing, ours is supposed to be complementary. If you don't do this, you are telling me invariably that, my support is not needed.
Is it not too early to be asking for accountability? Because the private sector, for example, will make reference to the infectious disease facility they put up at the East Medical Center. And we also know on record that they have made public some donations of PPE and other things to institutions.
If you ask me, I would say it's even too late because, this started last year. I expect that every 4 months, the head of the fund will come out and say that, we have received X amount of money. We've used X to buy PPEs. We use Y to pay for compensation. There is an aspect of insurance for the frontline workers. We need to know, probably, 1 million is set aside for them. There's a known sheikh in my community called Sheikh Abdul Wadud. He also mobilizes people, gather some money, and pay to the Ministry of Health into the fund. And all these things, we don't get to know what the money is used for. Well, if I put money, I don't know what the money is. I won't put more. So government has to do more. Definitely, government has to do more.
He raises an interesting point. Yes, government would have to play a leading role. But if it is true that the fatigue that has set in is a result of the lack of interest in exposing to the general public what really is being done with the funds, would it be good enough for anybody to say that at this critical stage we are not going to support?
It's true that transparency is the way to go. When you give things to people, I don't know why public servants always tend to have that attitude that when they put them in positions, they run their place as if it's a private entity. When you collect things from people, and the thing is not coming from yourself but people, then you need to be transparent so that the people will know that their things resources are being put into good use. But if you are not transparent enough to let the people know that the things that they give to you, you are this is what you are doing with it, then the people is true, they will not contribute. But with this coronavirus case, I wouldn't think so, People are fed up. This is a disease that is not coming to an end. It's a continuity. They said the disease, it was going, then it came back again with full vim. And people are losing their jobs. People at the workplaces, they are now giving them half salaries. People are facing difficulties. Both private and government institutions, they are having problems. But the government sector is the hardest hit. And most of our employment is usually a private sector that employs. And the last time I checked, they said because government is now borrowing from banks, the loans extended to private sector have been reduced drastically. So they can't also do enough. And you know, government is not the one that was contributing towards the fund. It was the private sector. Now that government is borrowing from banks, and then the banks cannot extend loans to the private institutions, the private institutions cannot do what they usually do. So, of course, the donation to the fund is going to reduce, but they will not look at the cost. They are not looking at the cost. They are just thinking that maybe people don't want to contribute. There is a reason why the people are no longer contributing to that fund. As for the fatigue, it's true. It's not only by contributions, but the health workers. Most health workers now have worked and they are so tired so that when a patient goes to this hospital, even when you are complaining of headache, fever, and other things, they look into your eyes and they think that maybe you may be having COVID, and they will direct you to a bigger hospital. So the bigger hospitals are now choked, and the stress is not only the resources, it's everywhere. So while they are looking for money to help with PPEs, this morning I heard one of the hospitals saying that they were not having enough PPEs.
In fact, the Registered Nurses Association has officially issued a statement asking for more PPEs for distribution,
and that even training for this health personnel to be able to work and take care of coronavirus. They said they are not getting.
Let me refer you to a concern raised by the Ghana Medical Association. They have made reference to the non-availability of facilities to take care of critical cases. They have also raised concern about the non-availability of the personnel. And I want to read the specific paragraph that talks about that. It says, Dr. Janssen said to manage the pandemic effectively, the government needed to deploy adequate human resource and enough logistics across the country to handle the high severe to critical cases being recorded. By now, we should have had a well set up COVID-19 ICU with functional beds to attend to cases in all parts of the country. Now, Dr. Justice Janssen is the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, and he makes reference to other critical issues. Says the association said it was worrying that the remaining 11 regions did not have functional COVID-19 ICU or skilled personnel to attend to patients with severe cases, and said the situation must be addressed in time. Now, there was a time in Ghana when the COVID was limited to maybe Greater Accra, Ashanti, Central, Western, and you would realize that the 5 regions in the north really didn't have many cases. Last week, Upper East alone, we read a report that suggested that 80 students had COVID, which means that the rate of infection is spreading very fast. Now, if Ghana Medical Association is suggesting that 11 regions don't have specialized facilities with ICU and beds to take care of critical cases, then we have a long way to go.
Yes, we have a long way to go. I heard, is it Minta? Mr. Minta talking about abandoned hospitals and health facilities. I'm looking at it this way. You know, when the health minister was being vetted, he said something that we should look at the amount of money the Ministry of Finance usually designates towards the health sector. The budget
for the ministry.
The budget is not enough to be able to do this work. So at times, it is not the minister who wants to abandon these things. There are no resources. But we are in a pandemic era that we should prioritize to know very well that without health facilities, you know, a lot of people have complained this morning of not being able to get a bed for their medicine, even though they are people of influence. They tried to get a bed for someone who had COVID-19 and could not get a bed. This is serious. This is serious.
Alhaji, let me come to you. So how do we manage this going forward? Because she has raised an interesting point that the budget allocated to the ministry is not enough. But the reality is that government has a lot of things on its head. They're looking at the road sector, the education sector, name them. And we don't have the resources. That is it.
Senior, like she said, it's all about prioritization. Just take all of us as individuals. If you get up and you have 1,000 cedis in the morning, you have several options. You have option to take breakfast with eggs, sardine and all that.
No. I'm a local person, so come home. Come home.
You have the option to take fufu. Somebody had option to take banku. Right? Someone want to take cocoa. In the afternoon, you have options. Someone will use portion to pay school fees. Somebody prefer to use it for chinchinga. You understand? So it's all about options. No country in the world has abundant resources. Every resources that is available, the resources are limited. So it's up to you to prioritize. Look at, we have the same resources. Even this government had more resources than the previous government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But look at the number of hospitals he built. Look at the number of schools we built. Look at roads that we constructed with limited resources. But this government had more than what John Dramani Mahama had. We don't have a single hospital. Not a single hospital has been was started and finished under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Not a single school. So it's not a question of resources per se, the way I see it. The resources that are available, how are we putting it to good use? Now we have a pandemic. How are we trying to ensure that the limited resources are channeled? Now we have a judgment debt with the Ministry of Energy. Cancellation of contract that was duly signed in 2015. And this contract is supposed to produce power. The minister just got up and said
that the minister is on record to have said that he never cancelled any contract. So they should leave him out.
I'm
making reference to Ejakun, who was then in charge of the ministry.
The minister said he sent to cabinet. So we said the president, if the minister is running away from it, then we'll put it on the head of the president. So President Nana Addo just got up and cancelled the contract, saying that we don't need the power. Meanwhile, you could generate this power, even sell and make more money. Why then are we producing cocoa?
Do you anticipate crisis ahead? Because Ebola is around the corner, restrictions will be increased, and so the border areas which generate revenue for GRA would see a drop in revenues. And then government obviously is strangulated because we have almost choked the system in terms of our capacity to borrow.
But apart from that, businesses are not booming. Businesses are downsizing, they are cutting, they are not making profit. So taxes, we are not going to generate the needed taxes. When you put all together, it means that we are reducing the number of money we get from taxes. Now, we are going to use same money to pay for judgment debts. We are going to pay about $164 million US. When you bring it to Ghana cedi, it's about 900 and something million Ghana cedi. This money could have been used to buy the PPEs. This money could have been used to expand our hospitals. This money could have been used to provide other medical
but some
services.
will say we have not paid, so the analogy doesn't hold.
No, there's a judgment, and when there's a judgment, you have to pay.
Yeah, so it is money to be paid. But
this money could have been used for other purposes. Now, our Home Minister of Finance is going to US for medical treatment. Why? Because the services that he wants is not in Ghana. This money could have been used to provide the services here, and not him alone. All of us.
So going forward, and let's be brief on this because we have other issues to discuss. Is it about time Ghanaians accept that, look, we are in difficult times, and so let's tighten our belt and stop this complaint business?
Yeah, I perfectly agree.
Okay.
Now we are in difficult times, and we are not in normal times. So all of us need to support. Despite the fact that government is not doing enough, we as citizens, we have a role to play.
Okay, Juliet, briefly. Janet.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe because of your color, I'm confused.
So I think that when it comes to this coronavirus pandemic, I think both MPP and NDC must remove their party colors and hang them on trees and let us do patriotic work, because we, the citizens, we are looking for solutions. The blame game is not what Ghanaians are looking for. We are looking for solutions. We can blame on all other sectors. When it comes to the coronavirus, this is our life. So any way you can help. It's true that government is overwhelmed with a lot of problems. You have to do this. You don't have the resources. How do you do this? There's a judgment that I don't know whether we can even use a champion strategy to say win. I don't know. If we could use a champion strategy, I think we should have used it to say so that we can be able to channel the resources towards other things that are very important. Now the minister was able to go outside. What about we those who don't have the ability to be able to get outside? When we get involved in that situation, what happens? So as he's outside there, he should bring that facility into Ghana, so that those who cannot be able to travel outside, when they get that problem, they will be treated here.
Okay, so Janet Asana Nabila is the General Secretary of the PNC, and then Alhaji Nuruddin Hamidan is the former MC for Asokore Mampo. Now let's look at another very serious issue that should bother any Ghanaian. We have laws in this country, and the issues about carnal knowledge and so on and so forth, I'm sure over the years that's been widely discussed. There was a time a man who led the country as president called John Atamils was put on the spot to speak to his position on the LGBTQ issue. And I remember very well when he categorically said that if it is something that is going to affect the monies they give us, they should take their money and we'll state and then mobilize from our own and then move on. Then there was the issue about what have other governments done. So from Kufuor's era through to John Mahamed's era, we have had this coming in and out. Last year, the issue became a subject for national discourse. That was when the comprehensive sexuality education matters came up. And there was the suspicion that there was an attempt to smuggle this into the system to brainwash our kids. Chiefs spoke, religious leaders and so on spoke. Now, somewhere last month, we heard about plans to open up an office. Now, the office has been open. Over the past 2 weeks, there has been a lot of conversation as to what must be done. And then for some funny reason, the European Union has put out a public statement saying that they were part and they sponsored what has gone on. So the debate is back. Let me start with you, Janet. How are you receiving this news?
European Union said they are part and then they sponsored it. Is this their country? European Union, you are part and they sponsored it. Who gave them that opportunity to sponsor people to come inside an office? People that our culture fronts on. Who gave European Union the opportunity to do that? Ghana is not for political parties. I remember when our president made a statement I don't know whether
he spoke to Al Jazeera.
Yes. The Speaker of Parliament, who was appointed by him,
Reverend Professor Michael
came
Craig,
out and said that if the president should accept it, he is the one in Parliament. He will see where he will pass and bring it inside Parliament. When it comes to homosexuality and this lesbianism, the people of Ghana, they will reject political parties. They will reject.
As the conversation continues,
yes.
I'll beg my producers if they can share on the screen pictures of the activity which was held recently. I'm told it's the Shoma area in Accra, but you can continue while we wait for. These are the pictures. Serious. So you see them, and these pictures were shared widely on social media, and that is what. So you see the diplomats there happily participating in the ceremony.
We the people of Ghana, when it comes to this lesbianism and homosexuality, we will reject political parties. We will reject our religious bodies. We will reject our own family. and we will come out and resist it with all the might that is in us, using our our national anthem.
Regardless of the human rights
regardless of the human, what are they talking about? What human rights? That is not a human. What is human rights for European Union and other parts of the country? It's not. Will not be a human right for the people of Ghana. We have our rules and regulations. We have our cultural practices that are governing us. And for that matter, you can't come from somewhere and then try to infiltrate into our culture what you believe is right. Why? Polygamy. They frown on polygamy and they do as if polygamy is something that is being practiced by people who are decadent and are at of the this and are of is this Stone era people that are practicing polygamy. That is how they see it, because they think it's bad and they think we are primitive. That's why we are practicing it. Thanks to them, we are practicing that. But we too, we look at them as people who are also primitive for practicing this thing. When it comes to this homosexuality and lesbianism, I don't even want to always go there. For somebody to come and cite an office here in Ghana, who gave the person the authority, we have to go down and do something. We
have to go down. Where should we go?
We have Ministry for Culture and something, because who gave them that office? Who signed that they have the right to come and hold an office here? Has any government personnel, the government side, have they come to give their view on this? Have they?
There's no official statement yet.
There should be an official statement.
That, look, the reality is that they are with us, and there they are. Several people are part of them, but because of the way you and I are speaking now, they are afraid to come out. But the reality is they are here. So how do we handle it?
They should forever be afraid to come out, because number one, we are not saying that we hate them, we kill them, but we pray for them to get out of that distance, because it's not normal. For us Ghanaians, it's like a case or something when you are a lesbian or a homosexual. But then we will not come out and throw stones at you and beat you and kill you just because you are that. What we can do is that we will pray that God should let you be straight. That's how we are going to do it. But you don't have the right to come out and then publicly tell us that this is how you are, okay, and you display it on our streets.
Secretary of the PNC, I'll come back to you. Now, Alhaji, I don't know how to put it, but we have a diplomatic community in Ghana, and I don't know their mandate and whether they should respect the laws of this country. We also have government's position, and yesterday when Adjo Asafo appeared before Parliament, she was very categorical that it will never be entertained. Professor Michael Okoye has spoken, but like the president said, it's bound to happen. So now that the European Union is officially endorsing it, should the Foreign Affairs Ministry, should government be seen to be reacting strongly to send that message that Ghana may not go for it?
My brother, government should act more. If there is a word more than strongly, government should react to what they say. We have laws in every country. If by the laws of Ghana, selling and advertising of cocaine is an illegal, you can't sell cocaine in the open. If stealing is an illegal activity, when you do it, you are arrested. By the laws of this country, LGBTQ is an illegal activity. Why is the police not arresting them? I expect that the police should move in, arrest them, and lock up the office, because it's an illegal activity by the laws of this country. Why are we applying the law in a different manner? Some people, the law is applying to them. Some they are above the law. They are not above the law. And Ghana is a sovereign state. European Union cannot impose their wishes on us. They are development partners. When we want the borehole, they should come and build the borehole for us. When we want hospital, they should come. But they can't determine our culture and how we should live among ourselves. That is not right. I want to salute His Excellency Professor Mills. When this issue came up, he categorically stated that I will not initiate and support these things. And so he scared them away. During President Kufuor, the issue came up. President Kufuor told them, no, in Ghana it's not possible. When John Dramani Mahama came, the issue started coming up. He said, no, Ghanaians will not accept it. But when this president came, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo, he rather teach them. He actually showed them the way
at this stage,
by saying that because we didn't have strong advocate, but if we have strong advocate, it's bound to happen. And that is why they are setting up office for strong advocates.
There are two things the country may have to do. I put it across whether there's the need for national debate on it. Because if you go to Uganda, if you go to South Africa, you go to some parts of Africa, in one way or the other, maybe they have been whipped to line and these practices are being accepted gradually.
My brother,
in Ghana, it seems it is coming. How should the nation, if that is really reflective of the position that no, how should the nation be seen to be fighting this cause to stop it once and for all?
There shouldn't be any national debate on this. Are you aware that they've started convincing some journalists to join the organization? Because they are the advocates. They are the ones who sit on the radio and TV and talk about it. There shouldn't be any national debate on this. I expect the Speaker of Parliament, my own father, to make a pronouncement.
But he's not the final authority.
No, it will come to Parliament. You have to pass the law before you can. If it comes to Parliament, all our parliamentarians, together with the Speaker of Parliament, if the President is advocating for it, they should let the President know that when it comes to Parliament, they will reject it, so that it will send a clear signal. You know, Professor Maikwe mentioned it clearly that Ghana, me, I'm the Speaker of Parliament, will not allow any of such things to happen. If it comes to Parliament, we'll reject it. That is the only language we understand.
You are an Alhaji. Obviously, your godfather is the chief imam.
Yes.
Those of us who are Christians, we have several of the kind of chief imams. So we have prominent pastors who have been speaking. At this stage, what do you expect? I'll come back to you, but let me come to you. At this stage, what should we expect them to do so that they would demonstrate and reflect what we want them to do, leading us to put pressure on authorities to speak?
I'm a Presbyterian, and I remember when one of our members in US, the church in US accepted
this LGBTQ issues.
And then the church said they were delinking themselves from them. No matter the things they were giving us, we don't care. So we decided to delink ourselves. We used to send them pastors. So the pastor who was there, they said, come back to Ghana. He refused that he will not come back to Ghana and stay there. So they said, okay, then you are no more our member. You know, this is how strongly the Presby Church and other churches around are against this thing. So I know very well that when we talk about political parties, it is about these religious bodies. It is either Ghana, we are either Muslims, Christians, or traditional believers. All these people in Ghana fronts on this LGBT, is it LGBTQ? QI, whatever it is. You know, so for a political party to be trending on dangerous grounds by trying to accommodate these people means you will never, your party will never come into government. Not in this country. Your wife is going to reject you, your children will reject you, the community will reject you, the church will reject you. I'm saying this, I'm signaling this to the MPP to tell them that quickly they should get up and do something about it. Because if the country finally says that it is them who have allowed this European Union to come and set up an office to practice this demonic act, which Ghana, we have seen it as demonic, and then you will allow them to come and do this with all the religious bodies that we have in the country, it shows how you don't respect the religious bodies in this country. So
go ahead.
We are begging them that if they are aware of it, they should act promptly and very quick. I remember, you know, I'm a gender ambassador. One of the ambassadors from some place, they called me that they saw a post on my Facebook angle against these people. Do I know that they are also part of gender? They were planning to do something for me and my organization. And then all the things they have helped us. This is what I'm doing. if the people that are
that's quite serious.
Yes,
so
that the people that
the
are helping me
comes from the top,
yes,
and they engage in institutions,
yes,
and then try to use money to influence
I'm just trying to say something that he has said, which is very serious. People are not listening. They are building a system. We are now having a system in this world when you are not part of, and they use journalists, they use influential people to be able to accomplish their agenda. So they bring all these people and whip them into one sector and then finance them, and they will be doing the work that other people want them to do, and you will think that, oh, now everybody is beginning to change. Let me change with them. No, don't follow the crowd.
Is it a demonic agenda, or it is something that you cannot do away with because it is part of culture? Remember Sodom and Gomorrah days, and many people say it has been there with us long ago. Now, you know, the comprehensive sexuality education. When this issue came up, there was this conversation that, look, we need to bring finality. The GES must let us know what is in the curriculum for schools. That period is gone. GES has not come out to tell us this is the new book or the new curriculum we have put in place. Should we begin to be diving into those areas to see that indeed there's no smuggling going on?
My brother, not only those areas, we need to keep our ears on the ground, because these people, they can come from all angles. They can come through the judiciary, they can come through the executive, they can come through parliament, they can come through areas that you will never even think of. You see how they started? They wanted to pass it through our curriculum so that our children and our youth who are coming up will become conversant with it. This thing, the way it is, when Obama passed the law, you know, in the US, they used to hide and do it like they are doing here. When Obama passed the law, you know what is happening? The two of them, whether two females or two males, they wait on the street. When the light is red and they are supposed to cross the zebra crossing, they pretend as if they are crossing. When they get to the middle, they will stand there and kiss themselves. People watching all over them before they move. This is how dangerous this practice can be to the community. So for me, our religious imams, Office of National Chief Imam, Office of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Tijaniya, Ahmadis, Muslim Mission, our Christian Council, this is the time to show leadership, because this practice is going to affect the fiber of our religious practice. It's going to destroy our communities. It's going to destroy our societies. It's going to destroy our youth. It's going to destroy almost everything that we have. And it is important, our religious leaders, that this is not the time to say, me, I'm a Muslim, me, I'm a Christian, me. We should all come together. First, go and visit His Excellency the President and tell him right on his face, President, we will not accept it. Then they go to the Council of States. They tell them, they should make it live. Clearly, they tell them. Then they'll go to Parliament. They meet the entire Parliament with the Speaker and tell them, go and meet Judiciary. These are the powerful institutions.
There is a school of thought that some of our religious leaders have been influenced, either politics or money or whatever. And so they are very careful about their public utterances. And when I talk about religious leaders, it could be either Muslim or Christian. That is the perception. Should the public be seen to be driving a certain agenda to put pressure on them if they don't act on what you have just proposed? I'll come to you. You answer briefly and then we'll wrap up. But the same question to you.
Before I go there, it's about this LGBT.
Raise your voice a little.
Before I even go further, it's about this LGBTQI being taught in our schools. Before the bill came, my son came back from school and was telling me that their English teacher said that those people who are lesbians and homosexuals, they have their human rights.
Is it a private school?
It's a private school. That they have their human rights to be able to become like the way they are. So they should respect their rights. I'm telling you that he was taught about those things about 2 or 3 months before the law even came into existence. So when I heard people talking, I said this thing is being taught in our schools. And now they are bringing it. They kept it in some of the books. You know, they always look at the books and choose the books that they are supposed to be treated in the various schools. And they make sure that those that write the books, they tell them, insert this inside it. So they pick those books. So you, the teacher, you open and you get to it and you have to teach what is inside that book. So it has already been smuggled into our books. And if you want to know, go and look at the English books. Read all the English books and you will see whether it is there or not. So they've smuggled it without our knowledge. But just as he has said, concerning our religious bodies, some of them have been bought. When it comes to this, if you see a journalist who cannot be able to come out clearly to condemn it, if you see a religious body who is speaking in some way and is not coming out boldly to condemn it, the person has already been bought. The person has already been bought. And when you are
you not over speculating?
I'm not over speculating. They should come out and say something. This thing has been out speculating around the media. Which of the religious bodies have said something? What are they doing? What are they doing? You are supposed to preserve our culture. And then this thing has been in the media for some time now. And you have been mute about it.
I read a post which said, and that question will come to you so that we wrap up and move on. That said that, look, the world is evolving. And so it's about time we dump that old archaic, so-called, in quotes, culture thing and move on, because that's reality.
Then you are saying that we should throw away our identity. Everybody has his identity. If I'm a Muslim from Zongo, that is my identity. You can't say that I should pretend like East Legon boy. I mean, eventually you are saying that I should throw my identity away. And my brother, this thing that is happening, we all know the repercussions. If it is good, would you have been born? If women and women should marry, and men should marry, would you have come to this world? Definitely it's wrong. The way...
Do you support those who say that building should be demolished?
Well, I think that it should be closed. I don't think that it should be demolished because probably it's not their building. Probably they've gone and rented it. So I think that the law enforcement agency, we have soldiers all over town. What are they doing?
Can citizens take up that right to go and stop it?
I think
or it will be wrong.
No, the Constitution has given the citizens the right to protect themselves and to resistance
but
that
not
they don't
to the
want.
Extent of closing somebody's private office.
It is a private office that infringes on the rights of the people of the land. Come to think of it, they are not even Ghanaians.
Well, let's leave the rest to you. Send us your messages and we'll read them. 0556 999 999 0556 999 999. A few of them have come to my phone. I'll read them and then we'll take a break and we'll continue our conversations. This one says that this one talks about the Supreme Court and it says that Dr. Ayeni and the Chachu and co should know that they can go to court but they cannot get the wish they have put before the Supreme Court. What is all what at all is the Supreme Court and Jean Mensa hiding that they don't want to hear, they don't want to mount the witness box. And it goes on to say that the EC chair is been protected already. Another EC chair will also be protected tomorrow. And this one came from Ablade. This text message says, in fact, and it also talks about the Supreme Court. We have not started discussing the Supreme Court, but well, I mentioned them in the headline, so I was expecting that we'll get more messages on our discussion at the moment. It says, in fact, the Supreme Court has done Ghanaians a great disservice. Upon Nkrumah and his team knew that the application by Chaji Chikata subpoena the EC was dangerous and to them, and so their response was to reject it. This one from Masawodu in Kumasi, Bantama, it says, JDM is just mounting a strategy to be re-elected as flag bearer for the NDC in 2024, and it says that the Supreme Court has already exposed them. This one from DJ Omanle Wayosi Ngo, so it says COVID-19 has come to stay with us, so let's follow the safety protocols, and Mahama petition is nothing good. This one also came from it says the name is Edward from Bolgatanga, Yekini. It says, good morning, Eric and Ghana. When the whole president coached and suggested that this group, suggested to this group how they should do in Ghana and get their needs addressed and subsequently assured them that it is bound to happen, who are we to stop it? We are in a state of double agony. Coronavirus outbreak, Nanado in government again, and now LBGTQ here. We are doomed. Edward from Bogatanga, Yekini. So keep your text messages coming. 020-866-7000 or 0556 999-999. Now, because some of the messages talked about the Supreme Court and its work, we won't spend much time. Briefly, today they are resuming their hearing. Have you followed the conversation? Let me start with you, Alhaji. Yeah. Where we are, there's a school of thought that, look, the NDC must face reality. They have not been able to defend their case, and they should not use Jean Mensa as an excuse. Either they chicken out of the Supreme Court or they accept that they have lost in advance. We cannot prejudge what will happen. But all these commentaries come in. How do you feel as a party member, former MC?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I strongly believe that our legal team, they've made their case. They've made the case because they have been able to raise the issues. The chairperson, is the returning officer. She's done certain things that are contrary to the law, and they have presented their case to the Supreme Court to go into it. You see, there are so many ways of going about the issue. I disagree with those who continue to say that, why are you not sending your pink sheet? No, this is not about pink sheet. This is about the declaration she herself made and the figures she brought out and accepted that she made a mistake. In any case, we have McMenu, who came out clearly and said that EC, chair of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensa, actually did wrong, because even the vote His Excellency John Dramani Mahama got, she padded the vote for him. So why are they running away from the truth if we are all seeking for the truth? So I think that, one, like we said, Jean Mensa declared the result wrongly. She did things to benefit Nanado because, my brother, you remember, after the election, we came out with our figures and we published. EC came out with their figure and published. Up to date, the MPP has not been able to bring out their figure and said that when we did our independent collation, this is the figure we got. Why is it so? Because every election, MPP brings out their figure. And now they are shifting the goalposts. Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, I'm so shocked. He come out to say that we said we won the elections. Now we go to court, we change the narrative, and we are saying that nobody won. We never said so. If you follow the event from day one, our flag bearer and the party said that there are anomalies with the elections, and therefore the issues should come and sit at on the table for us to resolve all the issues. That has always been our case. She refused, and we sent the matter to court. We never said anywhere that we won the elections. Now they are saying that the NDC supporters are putting pressure on the legal team to withdraw because they know that the legal team are not doing what they are supposed to do. They are not doing well. No, that's far from it. Okay, our people are saying that we should withdraw the case because they have a perception that we are not going to get justice from the court. That is the point.
Okay, so that's one school of thought. Madam, some say, look, whether we like it or not, this will come to pass. So the nation should begin to adjust itself and look at the way forward. Others are talking about institutions, integrity, and protecting our democracy. PNC's perspective, how does it look like after monitoring all these debates?
Change started on the 7th of December. On the 7th of December, in the 9th, that was when I started monitoring. It's true that this case, at times when you talk, they will they will put you in one political party. And when you say something, then they bring you to another. And be
mindful that the Supreme Court is hearing the case. So don't make any prejudicial
comments.
I'm
not making prejudicial comments. I'm just going to make comments that are already there in the media. You know, the truth is that what I was expecting NDC to do was, if they've not won, no one got the 50+1. If I send you to court to tell the court that nobody got 50+1, I must hold my evidence. My evidence are my pink sheets. Then I tell you, I have my computer analysts who will come and tell you that in this constituency, this was what they got, but they lied that they got this. According to what the things that they brought out from the strong room. They got this, they did this. Ghanaians are watching. When you finish, you say, so when you collate, you realize that we got 49 point this, and they too, they got 49 point this. So no one have won in the election. When you go to court and you present that, the onus of proof now lies on the MPP to come. They would have run to the seat. You wouldn't have told J. Mensah, because the integrity of the EC would have been impugned in such a way that the entire country would have been watching to see what he would do. They would have run to that seat without anyone asking them.
That is the witness box.
The witness box. They would have run to the witness box without you looking for subpoenas and other things to compel her to do so. But you did not do that. Then you brought Honorable Asedi Nketia, who said that they are not coming to doubt the validity, that they... I don't want to say they are not doubting the validity of the elections. Neither are they disproving the numbers the Electoral Commission has brought. But they are just here to talk about the errors. That was your witness that you brought. You said NPP never brought figures. They brought figures. On the 8th of December, they said they got 51 plus something. They came out with their figures, John Boydu and Co. But you did not bring any figures out. So I think that the homework, NDC did not do their homework well, because I expected them to have polling stations across all constituencies. Every constituency, you must have a polling station. And by this time, the polling station will give you whatever results they got from their constituencies. Because there should be someone in charge of the polling stations from the constituency level, the regional level. You will set up all the institutions Electoral Commission have set up. You do this because you don't want to be cheated. You do this because you have to monitor Electoral Commission. The reason why we go for IPAC meeting, and we are all part, is to make sure that nobody is cheated. No one will help you will help your party unless you help yourself. So you have to put in the human resource base to be able to give you your facts when you come out and you are talking. Ghanaians will look.
So the General Secretary of the PNC makes a strong case. I don't know your reaction.
Well, I completely disagree with her, because you see, this petition is different from the 2013 petition.
One.
The 2013 petition was about pink sheets. This one, all the pink sheets we had from the polling stations up to the constituency level, they are intact, they are correct. The problem happened at the collation center, where the calculations were not done right. So we are not going to Supreme Court for interpretation of constitutional provisions, whether this is right or wrong. It's all about calculation. So my expectation is that if we really are looking for the truth, we said, okay, bring the regional sheets and let's look at it. Let's tabulate it, put them together, and case finished.
Because
you see,
I disagree with this. Number one, if I'm cheated,
you can disagree with me. That one is not a problem.
Don't bully her, because you are a man.
No.
When you said this, she just relaxed.
No, she knew that when she was talking, I disagree.
So
I didn't
finish
talk.
quickly and let her take her floor.
You know, our major point is that we had reps at the national headquarters who are supposed to receive results from the regions that will be put together to declare.
And who also said that he signed documents without knowing, he signed documents and then protested that there are issues. Why would he do that? Because that has also come up. I'm talking about Roger Metunono.
Yes, you can sign and indicate that, oh, I have this issue, but I'm signing. He said he did that. He did indicate that, look, I don't want to stop the process, but I'm signing, but these are my issues.
But
and they promise.
When do you append your signature?
No, they
you
promise.
Append your signature when you are satisfied.
No.
You don't append your signature.
There are so many ways of resolving the issue. If I have absolute trust in you, and you said, oh, Hamidan, okay, this your issue. It's not a major issue. We can resolve it. I can say, okay, if we will resolve it, because I know this is not the end. We are just in the process. We need to have all the 16 regional collation forms to be able to arrive at the national result. But these things were not done. And that is a problem. What we are thinking is that, all we need to do, bring your 16 results. We'll put them together and the results is declared.
All what we are doing, we are not against you. We are trying to shape you so that next time you will clear your eyes and do the right thing. He just said something.
Look at the way he's
it's true. No, he just said something. He said that this election is not about polling pinches. Every election is about pinches. If you were to have your pinches from the coalition centers, and then you have a constituency, NPP, NDC have constituency polling stations, whereby all the pinches they have given you there. So now it means constituency, you know what you got in every constituency. Then you have regional polling stations. Then you know what you got in the region. And the electoral commission now tells you that in Tamale they got this. Meanwhile, it's wrong. You are bringing nothing but pin shit to tell them that no, this pin shit is this.
Let me do a few text messages. They are quite exciting and they touch on several issues. This one says Koku and Jacobs are typical definition of stomach politics. It didn't come with a name. This one says he's Emmanuel from Taifa. Should the court rule against the petitioner, can the petitioner go to the international court? When we engage a lawyer, we'll put this before him, but I doubt if the international court will be able to address our internal issues with regards to elections. What I know is that the diplomatic community may react differently if they have every strong reason to believe that the elections were flawed. Good morning, TVXYZ. My Wafa Yao. Are we serious? Okay, I am Wafa Yao. Are we serious, Ghanaians? And this came from Sunyani, no name. Sorry, Wafayo, sorry. This one says, I am a frontline health worker in one of the testing centers who got COVID twice. Until date, COVID insurance package not paid. Meanwhile, the treatment center, I spent over 20,000 cedis on medications. Good morning. No name attached. This one says, good morning, Eric. This is our, okay, I'm struggling to edit. This our not taking us for serious. So you are saying that we are not taking things for serious in this country. Our tax money is going waste. Thanks, Adams from Takrady. This one is from good morning from Otumfuo and convener of the Crossfire Ghana. I want to plead with the president of Ghana. Please stop these human rights issues. The LGBT should be MPP in and Okay, I'll read it again. Good morning from Otumfuo, the convener of Crossfire. I want to plead with the government of Ghana. Please stop these human rights LGBT issues. Should be nipped in the bud and be bold and tell them we are not ready for this immoral act. Ghana is not for them, please. This one says, I'm Bombshell, Liberia, Sierra Leone. Procures him Napo mat set at 42% less, and it goes on and on. It's something I cannot read. The language is quite strong. It says, good morning, Mr. Host. I am Bwesiako from Sunyani Odmase. Please, will the petition be heard today? Good morning, Honorable Millicent Amankwa Yabua. Please, is the regional bodies ready in Ghana? This LGBTQI issue is an MPP agenda. Let's take more messages. This one says, I am Clifford from Takrady Hwendo. We should all rise up against LGBTQ. May the God Lord keep and save us all. This text message is from Eric at Amasaman. It says, good morning, Mr. Host. As for me, I don't want to talk about this government in Matao. Everything has now turned upside down in Ghana. God have mercy on us. It came from Eric in Amasaman. This text message says, hi, how can you go to court and demand your evidence elsewhere? By what calculations do you obtain the results? No candidate had 50+1. Where are the pink sheets that support the above? It didn't come with a name, which supports your argument, madam. This one said the people hold high positions. They are strong, powerful, and superior. So people should take note that our president should come out and tell them that we don't want it because it is something we already frown on. This Rati from Elmina. This text message is from I'll read, maybe I'll get to the name. It says, there's no doubt the world is coming to an end. We are totally doomed if homosexual finds its way here in Africa, and for that matter, Ghana. And looking at the way things have been handled currently in the Supreme Court, I say that our democracy is totally under attack. Ibrahim in Cape Coast. This text message says, all the religious leaders have been both all our religious leaders have been both, that's why have been bought. He spelled it as both, have been bought. That's why none of them is talking. I'm Alhaji Rufai from Qatar, all the way from Qatar. So I told you that you can follow our work on Facebook and YouTube, Wizard TV, TVXYZ, and I'm happy to say that the Qatar message just reflects that wherever you are in the world, you can follow us. Good morning. I suggest NDC should forward the case to International Court for the sake of justice and truth, from Isaac in New Edubiase. Last one, I'm reading too many messages and I'm keeping you away. What at all do the supporters of LGBTQ seek to achieve than the wrath of Allah? No sound-minded person will in any way, or whether it's cash or kind, should endorse this barbaric practice. By Mohammed from Salaga. So keep your messages coming, and let's see how we wrap up. Now, extend compulsory retirement age. Minister designate makes case for sustained pension scheme. And yesterday, many of them also passed through. The Minister for Gender, is it the MP for Domi, what's the name? Adrasafo also appeared, and many people said her vetting appeared to come with some kid's gloves, maybe because of the way she comported herself. Others are saying maybe Parliament knows her or it's one of their own, and so how they handled her was almost like the way they handled Oseche Mensah-Bonsu. But I said it didn't happen to other MPs who are nominees who have come before the committee. Now, in general, because we don't have much time, what is your own assessment of the process and what do you expect? Let me start with you, Alhaji.
Well, first of all, I disagree with adjustment of the age of retirement, because, I mean, as young as I am, when I work in the formal sector for 4 years, when I was even the MC, at the end of the 4 years, I felt so tired, I needed a break. So I can't imagine somebody working for 65 and you still want to work. 60 and you still want to work to 65. I think that, 60 years is okay. We should even encourage people to even opt for early retirement, so that you will be able to plan your life and be on your own and do other stuff. So I strongly do not agree with the suggestion of the minister. With the appointments committee, my expectation is that all the ministers should be sent to plenary, because in my view, a lot of the ministers told a lie on the committee. They were not truthful.
Is that not a strong word?
No, it's not a strong word. I don't know what word to use, but that is how I feel, because when you look at Minister for Health, for instance, he came to the committee and he was asked that there was a contract given to a Nigerian at the airport, and they are collecting $150 for COVID tests. And the minister said he was not aware. He was
and yesterday, the Minister for Procurement
come to that.
Also said she's not aware.
Yes, I will come to that. Then he was pushed. Then he said, it was the task force, COVID task force. Then it was put to him that the COVID task force is not an entity and therefore they can't procure. Then he said that they did it through Ghana Health Service. The next day, last Friday, his deputy, Okoboy, went to Joy FM. And he was also saying that it was not the task force, it was not the GES, Ghana Health Service, but it was Ghana Airport Company that did the procurement. So, my brother, who is telling the lies? Defense agreement. A whole minister came and you were asked about the defense agreement. He said he doesn't have the agreement. And I know it's a lie, because I have worked in the public sector before. I know what information a minister can get and what information a minister cannot get. Before such an agreement is signed, the minister will have to send the proposal to cabinet. In fact, he has to send a draft agreement to Attorney General for Attorney General to okay it. So the ministers are in possession of all these agreements. The question is, why are they running away from showing the agreement? And why are they running away from responsibility? I believe that this time round, there wouldn't be unanimous passing of any minister. That is my prayer, that they should send, if you send them to the plenaries and they voted and the minister wins, so be it. But I think that they should give every member of parliament opportunity to also do his assessment.
Unfortunately, we have just about 2 minutes to wrap up. What's your own assessment so far?
Yes, retirement age, I also object to.
Is it because you are young?
No.
Because if
the reason why
if
I'm objecting,
pension and you think you have energy, you'll be interested though.
The reason why I'm objecting is because we are not thinking in Ghana. We don't think about our generational transfer hypothesis of the youth. A lot of the youths are roaming around. People who are very productive, very intelligent, and should be contributing towards Mother Ghana are not doing so because there are no jobs. And people who have contributed their quota, now they are getting to a stage whereby their usefulness is being reduced drastically. They still want to be holding positions, whilst those who are strong cannot be able to get jobs. So I think that the 60 years, we should maintain it and bring the youth on board so that they can also help in building Mother Ghana. Apart from that, Adjosafo's vetting, I think it was interesting. This is a lady who have just given birth. And I think because he's having a baby, the committee was yes. So I just want to thank the committee for taking that initiative to do that. I think they did the right thing. He spoke about.
I'm saying you see women.
Oh no,
some of the men had ill health.
Yeah. Oh no, those men, they deserve it. What do they have time for? So they deserve it, and even more. So he spoke about the Gambaga, the witches camps in the country. He said he's going to make them conducive so that those women can stay there. If you stay in Ghana and you in Ghana and you've never gone to the witches camp to see how these women are suffering, you will not understand. I come from that place, Nalurgu, whereby elderly women, I have seen elderly women being beaten, and then the woman will fall on the ground, sending the woman to Gamba.
Exercising.
Yes, in the way of forcing her to confess that she's a witch. We have seen how women have been burned and other things. Apart from building, recreating the places where they live to make it conducive for them, let's also look for ways that we can be able to get money to sensitize our communities so that they will stop putting this putting a woman through this
I wish I had brought this because you are a gender activist. I wish I had brought this earlier, but I'm sure we are going to engage you more than today. You'll be passing through from time to time, and anytime you come, I'll bring gender issues. I've enjoyed you this morning.
Thank you.
She's Janet Asana Nabila, PNC General Secretary. In fact, you deserve to be a General Secretary.
Thank you.
In fact, this is the first time I'm engaging you like this,
Thank you.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Okay, enjoy your wachi when you leave here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alhaji Nuruddin Hamidan, former MC for Asokari Mampo. Yes. I'm also grateful. You have made my show great. The messages I've received reflect the provocation we put across to elicit those responses. And for those of you who have also been sending text messages, join us again tomorrow. Health Alert Clinic and X Natural Mineral Water were part of this segment. In fact, Abena is well. I'm sure tomorrow she'll be with us. She's been running around, and I want to say let's all pray that she stops running and tomorrow she will sit. Good morning, and thanks to the production team.